Hello, Jordan-haruka here, and today I'll be teaching you how I color in Sai. First thing you're going to want to do is use your magic wand tool, which is one of your selection tools, and on the line art layer, the layer that you've drawn the line art on, you select in the region that you want to color. It'll turn it blue. It's not filling it in with color, it's just showing you where it's been selected, so it's not just, white or whatever. And when you've got all your hair selected, your region selected, you'll be able to fill it in with no problem. And on a different layer, you should do that, a layer below the line art. I shade with the pen tool, and the great thing about this whole selection tool is it's like you can always color inside the lines, and it's really cool. That's why I love digital art so much. So I'm just building along the shading here. It all depends on where you want your light to come from. There doesn't have to be light in the picture for you to know. You just have to pick a side, basically. And I usually do it from the left side, like as if the sun were on the right of you, or the picture. So the shading's coming along well here. Some regions need less than others, so just whatever feels right to you and whatever you think looks good. I don't typically blur it because I think it looks better that way, but if you like blurred shading, then that is perfectly fine. It all depends on what you like. You can also tilt the image a bit if that helps you make it straighter and stuff, like your brush strokes. Okay, just a little more shading here. I think at some points when I was recording this, I went away from the computer, so yeah. Oh, now we're getting the brightness. I'm not being very creative with the coloring and design. I'm just taking straight from an official picture. So choosing the colors wasn't a big deal. And you can always sharpen it up a bit by choosing the color that it is on and using the pen to just draw over it. Just do whatever feels natural. And that's basically it. You can choose another section of your drawing and just color it and shade it the exact same way. Just make sure that you're selecting in the line art layer and you're coloring in a layer below it. So let's just shade this shirt here. Another great tool that you can use, because when selecting, it's not always perfect. You make sure that you have the selection, like the terms of selection, on strict transparency instead of like fuzzy transparency or color difference, something like that. But you can also use the selection tool. It's like a brush that you can use to select, and you can also deselect. It's really cool. I didn't have that on a earlier version of Sai, so it depends. You may not have that tool in your version of Sai. It just depends on which version you have, and I would recommend getting this one because you can save transparent backgrounds and stuff, and it just makes it a whole lot cooler in my book. So just shading the skin along here, getting it all done. I believe the shading is done there. Now, I'm gonna tell you about how I do eyes. What I usually do is make crescent shapes right there that show the shading. It's a basic anime eye formula, I guess you could say. and I enjoy it. It's I made it my own, sort of. And I gradually get darker as I go up in the eye towards the top. At this point, I think I had a chore or something I needed to do, so just let's be patient for a second. Wait for me to get back. Man, I love the Madoka soundtrack. Don't mind me, just stupid commentary here. And as you get closer to the top of the eye, I would recommend using darker versions of the color you started out with. And then what I do is just blur it up, and it gives a cool effect. And I kind of got near black near the top because it blends in with the line art that I did up there. And for the pupils, I make 2 crescents near